Let's say you put this up against the Adidas Predator 19.1 or the 19 Plus. I choose this every day of the week. What's up guys, James here from BootWizard Boot Reviews, and today we are talking details, we are talking tech specs, and we are talking about the Lotto Maestro 200. The Lotto Maestro 200 is the boot that most of Lotto's sponsored athletes wear, and in my opinion, they are the most modern boot in the Lotto lineup right now. It's time to get into it. Let's break this boot down. The upper on this boot is in two distinct areas. Those are the blue area here, which is the toe box and running through into the midfoot on both sides of the boot, and then this grey area at the back. The best word I can use to describe this honeycomb mesh material through the mid and toe box area of this boot is premium. It feels so high quality, it feels so nice, and to me it always feels like something that maybe Pirlo would wear. Something with that, some player with that level of class and that kind of effortless ability to just pop a ball around. It's fantastic, and the softness of it right out the box is really amazing. This is, in my eyes, probably the best thing about this boot as a whole. It reminds me really heavily of the Nike Hypervenom Phantom 1. And if I tell you that the Phantom 1, in my eyes, probably has one of the best uppers that's ever been put on a football boot, that tells you how highly I think about this really soft, premium feeling material that runs across the front of the boot. So that premium mesh material then transitions at this point here on the lateral side and this point here on the medial side into a more basic synthetic. This is very similar to what you'll find on the Lotto Solista 200. I get why they've transitioned into this material. It is basically to provide a better fit and a more stable boot. If you made the whole boot out of this, you might struggle to get enough responsiveness from the boot, and the fit would definitely suffer. I don't love this material, but it definitely does a job on this boot, providing you with a more secure, more responsive fit and feeling. And we're not done yet with the upper. There's one more thing, the control fit technology. So the control fit technology is what I can only describe as a plastic coating that covers the top of the boot, and it's there for the sake of support and structure of the boot. It serves two purposes. The first one is if you're making sharp movements, turns left, right, it's there to support your foot, support the boot, and keep it more responsive. And it's also there to fix what was one of the biggest problems with the Nike Hypervenom Phantom 1. The Phantom 1 overstretched massively over time. So as you're wearing the boot, it would get to a point where the material that is very reminiscent of this material would overstretch, and the boots would almost become too big, unusable, they'd be no good to you. You'd have to go out and get a new pair. This is there to stop that happening. I've not experienced any issues with overstretching of these boots, so I think it works. I also don't think it's the most elegant solution to this problem. If you take something like the Nike Tiempo, which has the internal support cage option, that's a little bit more of a refined, elegant solution than a plastic top coating that runs around the boot and does cover up some of that super premium mesh-based material. But again, it is a lightweight solution, and these boots are incredibly light. Something we will get onto in the video in a couple of minutes. So just taking a look at the boot, I've covered the looks in depth in my unboxing video, which I'll put a link to just above now. But overall, I think this is a good looking silhouette of a boot, and that honeycomb pattern in the boot looks very nice, but I'm not a fan of the colorway. I don't like the Lotto green color in this colorway, and I think that the transition point with the imprint pattern here doesn't look particularly good either. Overall, a nice silhouette of a boot, but not one that I really like the colorway of. Let's talk about the value for money. These are 140 euros. If you compare that to its competition, something like an Adidas Predator, Adidas's control boot, 220 euros. These are in the same ballpark as Nike takedown models. This is 10 euros more expensive than a Nike Phantom Venom Pro. And this is definitely a better boot than the Phantom Venom Pro. And don't get me wrong, I like the Phantom Venom Pro. I think that is possibly Nike's best takedown model. If you are looking for a boot around the 130, 140 euro mark, I don't really think you can beat this. This is one of the best boots on the market right now, in my opinion, for a fraction of the price of what you will pay for anything from Nike, Adidas, Puma, even Under Armour, Umbro. This outperforms a lot of their boots, and in some cases all of their boots, for a fraction of the price. Just go out and buy it. You don't need to wait for it to be on sale. You don't need to buy an old colorway. Do if you can, but it's great value for money at full retail. Alright, let's talk about the weight. This weighs in at 181 grams. To put that into perspective for you, that is lighter than an Adidas X19 Plus and a 19.1. It is lighter than a Mercurial Vapor. It is lighter than a Mercurial Superfly. This is an unbelievable weight for a boot that is supposed to be a control boot. This is lighter than most speed boots on the market right now. It's absolutely incredible. Obviously this weight is in my size, which is a UK 8, EU 42, US 9, but that is a mind-bogglingly light boot. Traction, the sole plate and the stud pattern. This is the same sole plate and stud pattern that you will find across the Lotto brand, exactly the same one as you'll find on the Solista. So you retain that super stiff heel and forefoot area, as you can see with these X tension bars. You retain the Punterflex technology, which allows the boot to flex at the right point, and it's still that super light nylon sole plate. The stud pattern is the same. Conical studs are fine, they're there for changes of direction. The Evo studs are there for aggressive traction, but I don't really think that they are aggressive enough. Would I like to see something a little bit more innovative? Absolutely. I feel like if you take a stud pattern or a stud element like you would find on the Nike Phantom Vision and you added it to this sole plate, you might be onto an absolute winner. This is very traditional in the terms of the stud shape, the stud length, the stud layout, and I don't dislike it. I just think that with a boot that has so many incredible technologies and advancements, the stud shape more than anything does let it down, especially on a sole plate that is this good.
Please hang up and try again.
Taking a quick look inside the boot contains the standard Lotto insole, which is designed to have some shock absorption effects. It does have a synthetic suede on the top and this foam on the back. It's the same as I said about the Solista. I don't particularly like the insole. I don't think it's of a quality that matches the rest of the boot. But it's 140 euros for the boot, so you do have to anticipate that some things won't quite be as premium as you might get from, say, an Adidas suede liner. Continuing that theme, there is a synthetic suede liner that runs through the heel of the boot and then also runs down through most of the midfoot and into the toe box as well. It is reasonable in the heel. It's there, it does a job, and it's quite nice, but I put it in the same category as the insole. It feels reasonably good, and for the price point, it's very good, but it's certainly not as good as you might find from some top-end models from Adidas being my go-to because I think they make the nicest liners. I do find them a very comfortable boot to wear, although it is worth noting that that additional padding, which does run through the mid and forefoot area of the boot, does make the boot feel a little tighter than you might be expecting. So do be aware this isn't a particularly roomy boot in the toe box area, but you do get plenty of width through the midfoot. That external heel counter, which is the same that you get on the Solista, still offers that incredibly good heel lockdown. I have absolutely no worries about lockdown in this boot at all. Something I haven't mentioned yet because I wanted to mention it in the on feet section, purely because it really is all about the comfort. The tongue. So the tongue area is a super soft, super stretchy material, which I really like. And then on top of that, there's a memory foam insert, which really does eliminate any possibility of lace bite. You can argue that maybe it adds some unnecessary bulk to the top of the foot, but I actually enjoy it and I think it suits the boot very well. The whole tongue area, in fact, really does help the fit and comfort of the boot. The lacing system is something that I gave a lot of grief to when it came to the Lotto Solista, purely because I thought they felt cheap. And I feel the same way about them on the Maestro. The difference being that I now know why they are made the way they are. They are made with tiny little notches that run all the way along the lace. Now that's there so that the lace actually bites into each other when you tie them and stops your lace coming undone. Fantastic idea. Really good piece of tech. However, I still think they feel a bit cheap. I still think it doesn't help the look of the boot. And honestly, because they are quite thin, I find that they do this a lot. I spend a lot of time when I'm putting boots on trying to sort out the laces and make them flat, because I tend to find that they kind of bend and twist on each other because they are a thinner lace. So while in the long run the technology is probably very useful, I'm just not a fan of how they look or how they actually conform to the boot. Size-wise, I am wearing my regular size UK 8, which fits me just fine. I potentially could have gone down half a size in the length, but I am more of a kind of 7 3/4 size anyway, and I definitely wouldn't want to go down half a size in the width of the boot. I feel like that would be far too tight, especially in the toe box area, and I already have bordering on narrow feet. So my advice, go true to size. In conclusion, this is a fantastic modern control boot from Lotto. I think the biggest compliment I can give it is that I personally believe this is one of the best boots on the market right now, and certainly one of my favorites. And I don't mean best on the market right now considering it's 140 euros. If you made this boot the same price as the top end Nike and Adidas boots, it would still be one of the best boots on the market right now. I'm not saying it's perfect. There are certainly things that can be improved. But let's say you put this up against the Adidas Predator 19.1 or the 19 Plus. I choose this every day of the week. That is everything from BootWizard here today. If you did enjoy the video, please do remember to smash that like button. It helps me out a huge amount. Do comment down below and let me know what you think of the Lotto Maestros. Would you rock Lotto boots? And do remember to subscribe to the channel. But that's everything from me here today. Have a good one, and we'll see you soon. You can work out with boots there.